Biff Delgado show today. Extremely happy to have you here. You're a certified financial planner with multiple titles. You're a true professional, and we're really happy to have you here to not only educate, but motivate and help people take control of their finances. And dealing with financial planners for people like myself and a lot of the audience sometimes can be sort of an intimidating thing. You know, we don't know if we're getting ourselves locked into a salesperson or signing up for some stuff that we maybe don't know what we're getting ourselves into. So that's why we have you here today. We're going to let you introduce yourself, go all over your certifications, what you do, what you offer, and we're very excited to hear what you can bring to the table today, Eric. So we'll let you take it from here.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Biff, and thank you for having me on your show, and I'm glad to be part of your progress here. One thing that I wanted to take note and thank you for as well is for your service. So it wasn't until recently I understood that you served the U.S. military. So thank you for your service
Oh, thanks,
on
Eric.
that.
Appreciate it.
But yeah, my name is Eric Martinez, and I am a wealth advisor for a company called Embark Financial Partners. I recently left the corporate world to venture onto kind of on my own, but with a team of other advisors as well. And so I did start my journey, if you will, kind of made myself into this field. Started when I graduated KU in 2010, which was also during the Great Recession. So I didn't enter into the financial field. I started working in mental health, and I was there for a couple of years. I ended up working in nonprofit education, working inside of an inner city school here in the Kansas City area. Did that for about 6.5 years until 2016, or I still worked there in 2016, but started studying for my master's in financial management online in the university in California. And I ended up wrapping that up. And the next month, I started at a company which I've been in this industry for a little over 6 years. But I started at a corporation here in the Kansas City area, kind of like in a call center environment, working as an investment representative, and really being able to take on any questions and having to answer them industry specific. So during that time period, I studied for the SIE, which is the Securities Industry exam. And then I took this Series 6, Series 7, Series 63, Series 65, and those all have different purposes. And during that time period, I also took on the journey of studying for the Certified Financial Planner exam. So that required me to take 7 additional classes, which was during the pandemic. And where I did also, and during that time period, study for the CRPC. So the CRPC is the Chartered Retirement Planning Counselor. So that helps me work specifically with adults who are, I want to say, between the ages 50 and older, and to really identify healthcare needs, Medicare, Social Security, when's all the important things to really kind of knock that out. That also helps me working with people in our generation, millennials, just kind of saying, hey, these are the things we should be doing to prepare for those kind of things. So right now, again, I'm a wealth advisor, certified financial planner practitioner. And that CFP should be a very monumental certification that individuals should look at when deciding to work with an advisor. Kind of to your point, what you mentioned is saying, hey, I don't know if I'm being sold something. I don't know if I'm being, put it into the wrong investment or insurance product, annuity, anything that doesn't make sense to you because we don't know, and it's always going to be that way. Having the background in nonprofit mental health, I really take strides at becoming more of an educator and doing what is best for the best interests of the clients that I work with. And that's what a fiduciary model is the difference of what is the best interest of you versus what is the most suitable. And so that's going to be the biggest difference between the two.
Okay, very good. And when I was reading over your bio that you sent over prior to the show, there was something that really caught my eye, and that was that you mentioned that you want to help people and families take control of their assets and property so that they, rather than government or municipalities, dictate their financial future. And you also touched on how you're really looking to help people that might be more in a vulnerable position, whether it be elderly, maybe English is the second language
Mhm.
that sort of thing. So can you touch a little bit on what you can offer those sort of people very briefly? Because Eric, I understand that uh, a financial advisor trying to explain what all they can do in even 4 hours is impossible.
Mhm.
So let's start by having you explain what you can do for them um, and young people at a very elementary ground level, where do we start? What tools do we need to bring and that sort of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, so working with a CFP like myself, we are trained, and specifically me, I have a very analytical view, a lot of street smarts too. So I can kind of combine both the street smarts and the analytical view, the technical skill, to really be able to find out, hey, what should we be considering? So what I mean by that is an example is I've had an uncle my family lost, and he did not take one step to take care of an estate plan. And so those are some words that are pretty confusing. An estate plan. We don't really understand what that means until we cross the bridge and really have to focus on what it means. And so working with a fiduciary is going to be the difference between your municipality, your state taking over those assets, or you taking control. Because if you don't have an estate plan where you live, the state will have the state of your domicile will have an estate plan for you. And
Absolutely.
so it's being able to take control of that is the biggest thing.
Right. And so estate planning obviously is number one. What about retirement planning and stuff like that? So if, let's say we're a young person or even an old person for that matter, but let's start by saying I'm maybe 19, 20, 21 years old. I'm just kind of getting settled in early on in a
Mhm.
career. And would you be someone that I could reach out to talk to about where I need to start and educate me on that process? Would I come to you for something like that too?
Yeah, absolutely. I actually do have a client right now in that age range, and we are creating a strategy to make sure this individual has the assets to buy themselves a house in the future. That's their goal. So, to put it what it's in their best interest, I have curtailed a plan for them. Typically, you would see, younger individuals to say, "Hey, we're going to make your investments aggressive. You have a long-term horizon." Well, if their time horizon mix in with how much risk they can take, so we're mixing in risk capacity, how much they can stomach, with risk tolerance, or how much they can stomach, and combining those together, we really do have to not be as risky and find a best interest solution for them. And so, but if your time horizon saying, "Hey, I'm just going to put this away for retirement," we still got to find the correct model of mixture between stocks, bonds, and cash in order to make sure we are preparing for that specific goal of yours. So starting at a young age is going to be very important. And whether we know it or not, a lot of us are actually invested into the stock market in one way or capacity or the other.
Okay, so we've covered the estate planning portion. You can touch on those things far more in depth at a later time if somebody chooses to reach
Mhm.
out to you. We've covered retirement in a little bit. We know you can help people with that service. With it being, gosh, already past the middle of March, coming up on April, we know that's tax season. So are you someone that people could reach out to about tax planning, tax preparation, tax questions?
Yeah. So out of those three, I guess I will say I cannot do tax preparation, but I
Okay.
do a lot of tax planning. the estate planning, the retirement planning, everything, all that, everything is so much connected. Tax planning is such a huge component. Um, I I am a person who sees in the future. I'm very strategic and I'm very futuristic thinking. And so somebody with the CRPC like myself that's focused on the things that we would have to, blind sides we have to pay attention to when we get older is everything with tax planning, healthcare planning, and everything like that. So you can go out and get you a mutual fund or an exchange traded fund. They call them ETFs, which acts just like a mutual fund, but it trades during the day as opposed to getting one price per day. If you're looking for the most tax efficient, you would generally be looking at a ETF for a non-retirement account, like a joint account, individual account, or a trust account. If you're in the retirement world, it's okay to have a mutual fund, and because those can be um, quite taxing on you. They can provide a lot of dividends and involuntary capital gains to you that you have to report on your taxes. That's not a problem now, but once you hit a certain age, Medicare, we're starting to talk about the retirement world, and we just talked about taxes. So they blend in together. And now we're talking about healthcare, but Medicare will look at your income 2 years prior to when you are eligible for Medicare in that first year and subsequent years after that, and will make you pay a higher premium. So let's say somebody has a really big income last year. Well, this year, this month, next month, they're not going to be happy with the tax bill they have to pay. And then they're definitely not going to be happy in January or December when they get the bill starting in January. They have to owe $300 plus more per month for Medicare. And
Wow.
so those are all the little blind sides that estate planning, tax planning, retirement planning all have to go in together, and investment planning because you have to really do choose the right options.
Absolutely. Um, and so, Eric, in our discussions that we've had leading up to the meeting, you had talked about how you sort of had mentioned to me that there's just so much to cover. It's just, and that makes complete and total sense. And what we don't want to do right now is overwhelm listeners with all
Yeah.
of the languages and things like that. But an idea that you've had and something that you're going to take into practice here in the Kansas City metro area is something of a pop-up educational seminars or meetings or things like that. Can you explain that a little bit more or what your plans are in that capacity?
Yeah. You're hitting the nail with the hammer right there. One of the things is we got to take baby steps to really understand these concepts. And really, these concepts are not anything that we talk about at our dinner table consistently. And so I've taken an approach where um, throughout my time in Kansas City, I've actually have a little fun doing going to different coffee shops. I made some friends with coffee shop owners. I became familiar with the populations and become a frequent visitor. So one thing I've noticed about a lot of coffee shops is that they have pop-ups, and they will have a pop-up vendor come by and something I plan on doing is posting up at one of these coffee shops with a tablecloth, branded merchandise, and also have a little spin wheel. And I could be handing out my merchandise all day, every day. It's not going to mean anything if I didn't have a meaningful conversation with the people that took it. So one of the things I'm going to be doing is asking people to spin the wheel. Depends on where it lands. We'll prompt them some questions that they would, unless they have a question, but it's
Sure.
just going to be a general question to generate a conversation to meet with me or to just ask me something, and whether it takes me a minute or two to answer, if I have to explain it, 4 or 5 times, I'm happy to do so.
Sure.
And so just going to be simple questions.
Okay, and Eric, actually, we talked and you provided us. What we're going to do now is kind of a little pop-up example of what you're going to
Mhm.
offer. So I'm going to take the time here to share the screen, and we're going to click this, and we're going to share, and we're going to go ahead and give this wheel a spin. And we're going to see where it lands on. Okay. And this would be an example. What are some common mistakes made when investing?
Yep. So this really kind of goes back to my days of working in a call center. I have to have every single answer to know on the fly. And it's not that I answered the questions immediately. I knew what the baseline issues were, and being able to connect with people. So a lot of mistakes that people make is, early on in their life is getting into the wrong investments. It's a very common theme. Maybe they put money into their 401k or IRA or, just an individual account and were too conservative because they were nervous about the market at the time. Um, that's one big mistake that I commonly see individuals and they will come years around and not have the amount of money that they really should be having. Um, and another huge mistake, and it's probably something people are doing this very moment right now because of the stock market having a bit of decline, is people will make rash decisions. They will decide to sell their investments and put it into a money market to stay safe, whether it's a retirement account or non-retirement account. And then usually we get into a mental block where we really find it hard to get back into the market because we're waiting for that bottom. And who knows, maybe they traded out on the day it was the bottom. It's less taxing in a retirement account, but if you had significant capital gains and then you sold them to go into a money market, I've seen people do these rash decisions because they were just losing money, left and right, hundreds and thousands of dollars per day, that they ended up recognizing two, three, $400,000 in capital gains. And that's money that they're gonna have to pay taxes on. If they would have done nothing, then they would have not have to pay any of the taxes and just, stay the course. And then another thing I see consistently is that investors come across to me where they've gotten invested into like an insurance product that wasn't, best interest for them. It was suitable, but it wasn't best interest. You go to a meat market and you ask them, say, hey, what's in the best interest for me? They're going to find what's suitable for you. And that's just how it works. And so I find these products that are not in their best interest. The guarantees never panned out what they plan to do, and if they don't pay it, then they lose it, type of deal. So I mean, those are some big mistakes I see commonly.
Well, Eric, I mean, you sound like you're just a wealth of knowledge, no pun intended there. And I think what we would like to do is have you as our official financial guru for the Biff Delgado show going forward. And we would like to invite you to come back, maybe like for Financial Fridays or something like that, and give the wheel a
Yeah,
spin. Um, and in the meantime, um, is there a place that people can go to maybe follow you or get your advice in a more personalized, professional way, websites and things like that? Or
yeah. So I did provide some details as to how to reach out to me. One of them is going to be LinkedIn. I am on LinkedIn pretty much every day. I may not post everything, but I'm definitely, following others, communicating with people in the message block, if you will. There's my website, Embark Financial Partners, embarkfp.com, and you will see, some of the blog articles we post in our company. If you're a client, you can find your investment account and your financial planning login in there. Um, then you'll also see that there is a link to the Certified Financial Planner Board website. Um, and that's where you'll be able to also contact me. It has my phone number, my website, and then you can also utilize the CFP to message me directly. And so I've had new clients come my way through the CFP website multiple times, and those are those are ways to meet with me. If you're looking to schedule a consultation with me, I do, as any fiduciary should, is do a free consultation, because at any approach, really, I'm learning from you and you're learning from me. I'd have to see if what I'm doing does make sense for you. If you have a really in-depth situation that requires, I'm not an attorney and I can't draw up, those forms or anything like that. But if there's something that requires your attention more first, that's going to be your route. And coming with to me, the consultation is really seen as, would I be able to help you?
Absolutely. And we touched on earlier, you're bilingual, so you can also consult Spanish-speaking individuals and things of that nature.
Hmm.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Great. Okay. So if someone's Thea or Theo sitting out there and they need some help maybe, and they might not have ever explored these options, they can totally feel comfortable coming and asking Eric for his advice. That's fantastic. Um,
Yep.
Eric, thank you so much for your time today. Um, like I said, we know here at the show that there is just an infinite amount of stuff to unpack with this stuff, and we invite our listeners and our guests to engage the show by posting questions they might have, understanding that we might not be able to answer all of them, and obviously we'll do the best that we can. But we would like to extend our invitation and have you around. So we'll spin the wheel once a week, probably. Um, we'll ask our guests and our followers to submit questions to you on our page. And we're really excited for you, Eric. It sounds like you're doing really, really well. We're very excited about your coffee shop seminars. Those pop-up seminars sound great. And um, we'll kind of find a way to post to the show ways that our guests can follow you and track you, because you are in the Kansas City metro area, correct?
Yes, I am.
Okay, great. And you've developed some great relationships with those people. I can promise you, in the next couple months, we're going to make a trip down to the Kansas City metro area and actually attend one of your seminars and get some good photos of you doing what you do best. And we'll kind of let you close out by anything we might have missed or anything that people might want to get together just before they make their initial consultation. What are some things that they should maybe have ready immediately, go find before they contact you? Some, just some documents and information that you might need to help them right away from the beginning.
Yeah. Really, when it comes down to a consultation, anything is going to be pretty helpful. I can go anywhere from A to Z. It's not one hat fits all. Our financial situation is like a fingerprint and it's going to start differently from everybody else. The progress is going to be different from everybody else and it's going to end differently. And so the biggest thing is just being able to have a consultation with me. It can be an hour, it could be 30 minutes, and really just be able to, go from there. And if there's something specific you're wanting to focus on, we can really kind of tailor that consultation around that first. And I might be able to kind of see some blind sides and be able to kind of go from there. And you're anybody that my phone number is going to be on that listing as well. You're free to text me or call me. The texting line, it's one of those services where if you text me, it's going to say, you're going to get a reply back, data rates and, charges apply. It's just a way for us to stay compliant and to be able to track our conversations with individuals. And so don't be alarmed if you get that message right away back sent to you. But yeah, free to text me, ask me any questions, and schedule a time. I can do here on site, Zoom, anything like that, or just simply phone would help out as well.
Okay, and that's good information. So anybody across the nation can reach out to you at any time with any
Hmm.
questions they might have. Uh, Eric, thank you so much. We are definitely going to post all of your information on our page. We're going to make it very simple for people to get in contact with you. And we are, no matter what, going to have you back on. And hopefully, you will continue to join us on everybody's financial journey as the official certified financial planner for the Biff Delgado Show. So
Thank you.
that's outstanding. And thank you so much for your time today, Eric. Go out and enjoy the great weather. Hopefully, nobody's financial future has been wrecked by their bracket getting busted and the March Madness chaos that has ensued. I'm sure you're not happy about the Jayhawks getting blasted out of the tournament.
Yeah.
Really, probably everybody saw that coming. So that would have been not a safe bet. So, Eric, we sure appreciate your time and thank you very much. And we're looking forward to hearing from you again in the very, very near future.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Eric.